Organizing sheet goods has always been a big problem for me. I'd always have a big stack of it propped up against the wall somewhere, and the piece I needed always had 32 other pieces stacked in front of it. In this video, I'm going to try to remedy that situation by making a sheet goods storage rack. There are four main features I wanted this plywood storage rack to have. I wanted it to be vertical because I had the ceiling room and it would save on space. I wanted it to be on casters for the greatest mobility and versatility. I wanted it to be cheap because it's just a shop project for myself. I needed it to be less than 3 feet wide as to not interfere with the door opening to my shop. Here is a view of the empty storage rack I'm going to be building. It consists of 3 rectangles made from 2x4s. 2 of the rectangles are as tall as I could go in my shop, which is about 9 feet tall, including the height of the 4-inch casters I got from Harbor Freight. The other rectangle is shorter, about 4 feet tall, for storing smaller sized sheet goods. In hindsight, I think I should have made it 3 feet tall so I'd have an easier time reaching over it. I decided to join the 2x4 rectangles together using half-lap joints. It's a strong joinery method that will withstand the forces of moving around a cart full of very heavy sheet goods. I used scraps of plywood I had lying around as cross braces to help prevent racking from front to back. I joined them inside dado grooves that I hogged out with a router and a straight bit. Placing the cross braces inside grooves like this isn't strictly necessary. You could just overlap them and screw them in, but I preferred to have them flush with the sides of the cart. I also added cross pieces to the back side of the cart to help prevent racking from side to side. The 2x4 rectangles are joined together at the bottom of the cart by short links of 2x4s. The links are arbitrary, but I had to be careful to keep the entire width of the cart under 3 feet as to not interfere with my shop door. With the help of a clamp and a combination of joinery methods, I joined the bottom cross pieces to the bottom of the rectangles. When I could, I used screws driven directly into the ends of the cross pieces. But as the cart came together, I didn't always have access to this method and opted to use pocket holes for those situations. Before the cart was joined to full size, I thought it would be best to add some scrap blocking on the 4 corners so I could make use of the caster's 4 screw holes. I don't want to have a caster failure with the cart loaded with sheet goods. I held the blocks in place with some brads until the wood glue dried. I lined up the middle rectangle and drilled some pilot holes. A clamp helped me hold it in place while I screwed it together. Here I screwed the top together just on the back side of the cart. The front side needs to remain open for sliding in sheet goods. Here are the pieces that required pocket hole joinery. I slid the small rectangle into position and tacked it into place with a brad gun and then reinforced it with screws. Before standing the cart upright, I needed to install the casters. I held them in position as I marked the screw location with an awl. I had some old lag screws lying about that I used for the casters, but first I needed to drill the right-sized pilot holes. I wanted my drill bit to be just a bit thinner than the shaft of the lag screw. I drilled the pilot holes and cleaned up the scruffs with some sandpaper. It turns out that one of my cart screws interfered with the caster screw, so I removed it, installed the caster, and then repositioned the cart screw where it didn't interfere. I used my handheld drill to drive in the lag screws most of the way, and then hand tightened with a socket wrench. And finally, the moment of truth. I had just enough room to roll it under the ductwork. Here I install cross braces across the back side of the cart to prevent racking. For the second brace, I had to shim it out so it would sit flush. I had some leftover melamine from another project to use for the floor of the cart. The hard, slick surface will make it easier to slide heavy sheet goods back and forth. I had to notch the corners of the flooring to fit. I used masking tape to prevent tear out from my jigsaw. Now comes the fun part, making a roller on the front of the cart to aid in the pushing and pulling of heavy sheet goods. This addition isn't completely necessary, of course, but I thought it would be a fun thing to try. And I don't know about you, but that is one of the main reasons I got into woodworking in the first place, because it's fun. If you think woodworking is fun like I do, please gently press the like button for me. I build fun, practical woodworking projects all the time, and if you would like me to video more of them for you to see, a subscription to my channel would really help motivate me to do that. A thick piece of PVC was used for the actual roller. A thinner piece of PVC would be used inside the thick piece to prevent the ends from going in too far. I used a hole saw to cut the circle ends out of MDF. And a threaded rod would be used in the very center of the roller. And it would sit inside a metal bushing on either end. I used blocks of red wood to hold those metal bushings, and after determining where I would like everything positioned, I marked where I should drill the hole for the bushings. I tested the fit on the scrap piece first, and then marked and drilled the real holes just deep enough for the bushings to sit flush. I wanted the blocks to look a little more stylish than just rectangular blocks with sharp edges, so I drew a design that was more round and more pleasing to my eye. Before cutting out that design, I first planned how I was going to attach the blocks to the cart, and I knew that I would use at least a couple of pocket hole screws along with glue, and it's easier to drill those pocket holes before cutting out the round design. I used my table saw and bandsaw to cut out the design, and here's what it looks like finished. I wanted the roller to be positioned about a ½ inch or so above the floor of the cart. After dry fitting the roller, making sure everything looked good, I took it back off, added wood glue, and then reassembled. As I push sheet goods into the cart, much of that travel distance will be using only one contact point on the roller until the front edge of the sheet good touches down, and now I only have 2 contact points until I've pushed the sheet good all the way in. Reducing the number of contact points, or the amount of surface area that is rubbing together, reduces friction and makes pushing or pulling across it that much easier. This was a much needed shop project for me. I'm sure you can tell from some of the shots in this video that my shop is severely cluttered and I'm in need of some more organization. This project was a step in the right direction.